and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Today, I want to talk to you about something very special, and it kind of ties to what we discussed last week. If you could recall, last week, I gave you some strategies of how to go over your first quarter. So today starts quarter number 2 of 2021. But so what I want to do is it's important that you have that data in place of what, that you did that homework, that you actually took the actions to do that, because it's going to impact what we talk about today. What I want to talk about today is I want to give you 5 strategies for business growth as the economy begins to come back, because we're going to start opening up again and everything. And I mean, I don't know how you guys are. I mean, every state's different. And here in New Jersey, we were hit pretty hard. I mean, there was a lot of impact on a lot of industries. We had to have virtual court cases, so the law industry was hit hard, because there were some cases that were canceled because some of them can't be done remotely for whatever reason. So they had to cancel some cases and, I guess postpone them until as we open up again, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, the point of this episode is to give you 5 strategies for business growth as the economy begins to open up. I mean, let's face it, folks, COVID hit a lot of folks hard, especially here in New Jersey. I mean, I'm in the state of New Jersey, and we were one of the most hard hit. I don't know how, I've seen parts of the other country. I mean, we just recently came back from Florida, and I got to tell you, my girlfriend and I were shocked to see how different the world was down there. I mean, yeah, people were walking around with masks, and before, you got to go into the mall with masks, and they don't allow you to walk around without masks inside. But it was definitely a lot more laxed than it was here up in the Northeast. So I guess this episode is geared more toward the people of the Northeast, but I'm sure there were some industries that were hit hard outside. I just didn't see any. And I just want to make sure that I'm focusing on the New York, New Jersey area, because that's the folks that, that I know of, and those are the ones that were hit hard. So I'm going to give you 5 strategies that are very impactful that you could actually use from a digital marketing standpoint. It doesn't even have to be for digital marketing. I mean, I'm talking about digital marketing, but these are good ideas that you can use to get everything rocking and rolling. So let's get on with the content today. So number 1, I would say you want to increase your brand awareness for your business. And here's what I mean by that. After being in say, quarantine for the better part of the entire year last year, right? You're going to need to forgive, prospective customers if they no longer, remember that your business exists, right? You're going to need to forgive them. So that's why it's so crucial that, say, increase brand awareness for your business is done correctly post-COVID environment. Okay. So as a result of people staying indoors, customers, and spending more time online platforms, it's it's easier than before to do it. Okay, so you want to leverage this to increase the brand awareness by advertising on, say, social media, or even through Google AdWords. Okay, you want to reach the desired audiences through the tools that we have in front of us. So we have think about it. If this pandemic had hit just, I don't know, 20 years ago, that we didn't have a lot of these tools, we would have been in a world of hurt. So we want to take advantage that we can reach a lot of these people, although they're home, we can reach a lot of these people in the comfort of their own home, right at their fingertips, using the internet, using the phones, etc. Okay. So I would say you want to increase brand awareness by running ads. I'm a huge advocate of ads, folks, on social platforms. Wherever your audience hangs out. So if your audience hangs out on Facebook, do it on Facebook. If they hang out on Instagram, do it on Instagram. If they hang out in LinkedIn, do it on LinkedIn. Okay. But the point is you want to make sure that you increase your brand awareness. And if you haven't done that before, if you have not done it as of now, you got to start doing it now. Okay. So that's tip number one. Number two is that you want to let sales data guide the decisions about your services. Now, we talked a little bit about this last week. The data that we have from the first quarter is very indicative of how we're going to position ourselves for quarter two. So this touches a little bit about that, but the pandemic has basically changed customer spending habits, and that's the truth. It's quite possible that some of the services that you provide are no longer doing as well as they did in the past. So people are making like more informed decisions before they're buying anything now. I'll give you an example. I have a buddy of mine who owns a gym. He's part of a gym. He's got some interest in it. I think he's got 35% of the gym. So anyway, the point is that he had a pretty good subscription base into that gym. Even though they opened up again, I think they opened up his gym. I think it was last September. If it wasn't September, it was probably August. But it was, they opened up the outside. He could have worked out outside because he took advantage of the good weather. Then when it got colder, he was able to go inside, but it had to be at a limited capacity. But here's the point of what I'm trying to make. He has to now, to have people announce that, to have people feel comfortable, that they can come inside, he has to announce their sanitation process. They have to make people feel safe that they can use the equipment, or whatever the protocol that he has built in post-COVID, he has to make it known. Because what he shared with me was, Frank, even at that, he's still now at about a 62%, last time I spoke to him, a 62% level of where he was before. So he still hasn't even reached 100%. So there's still 38% people that did not renew post-COVID. Now, one can argue that they weren't going to renew anyway. Maybe they're using COVID as an excuse, but the fact of the matter is that he was not back to capacity, even though he's opened up again. So going back to what I was saying earlier, before I told you that story, you want to take a deep dive into the sales data for the past year, and take some insight into it. there's a certain criteria or quality of the people who are still doing business with you. And you want to, in my opinion, then you want to go back to to point number one, of brand awareness, and you want to have some Facebook ads or YouTube ads or whatever platform or even LinkedIn, wherever platform your people are, and show them like people that are similar to the people who have come back to you, say your gym or your dental office or whatever the case is, whatever business you own, this could work, because everyone has had some people who have not come back because of the pandemic. And this is a slick way of doing it. Okay. So you want to so the point of this number 2 is let sales data guide decisions. Is, like I said, in his example, he's got to make sure that those 62%, he can now use that data of that 62% to then present to people that are like them, because the likelihood is that people like the people who came back will also join his gym. And that's something that I love. That's something that I really love. Number 3 is you want to enhance the e-commerce experience. And people say, well, Frank, I'm an attorney. What are you talking about? E-commerce doesn't have to be that you're buying products. A lot of attorneys, when they do business the old-fashioned way. Write them a check, do a deposit. Because of this pandemic, you got to innovate. Okay, you got to create ways of having people maybe sending the deposit online. Not having to have to walk in with a check, et cetera, et cetera. So make it an e-commerce thing. So e-commerce was already growing anyway before the pandemic. So it's just basically skyrocketed since COVID-19. It's like an additional $105 billion of revenue were spent online in the U.S. last year. That's amazing. That's a cool stat to know. So that's telling you that e-commerce is on the way. And again, e-commerce does not have to, because a lot of people mistake e-commerce as, Amazon, and Amazon is e-commerce. Yes, it is. But e-commerce has to do with having some kind of exchange, some monetary exchange online, whether it be with credit card, Venmo. Now with Venmo, everything is so easy with this. So you want to get with the program, guys. You want to make it easy for your potential customers to pay you. Okay, so you want to enhance the e-commerce experience. That's the point there. Number 4 is you want to invest in improving SEO. And I know there's no surprise to everyone on this, on listening to this episode about number 4 for me. I'm a huge advocate of SEO. SEO is powerful. I'm also a huge advocate of paid advertising. But paid advertising is, you want to get it off the ground, you want to grow, you want to get leads instantly. That's how you go it. But in terms of building and dominating your brand, nothing does that better than SEO. So that being said, since people may remain, basically apprehensive of going outside unless absolutely necessary. I mean, now with the vaccines rolling out quicker, people are getting more confidence of doing it. But if you want to invest in improving the SEO for your online presence, it's going to help bring in more customers, period. Because, you just have to have a different and innovative way of changing how people see you. It doesn't always have to be physical or can they do it online? Up your Zoom game. maybe, invest in a Zoom tool. I mean, that's very, very inexpensive Zoom. So maybe you can connect. I mean, obviously a dentist can't do this, right? But an attorney initial consultation could be via Zoom, right? So there's certain things that you want to do differently for the current environment. So what I've noticed is that a lot more people are searching online for information about services that you offer. So it's a great way to cater to local customers in particular. So I'm talking about SEO. It's really a cool way of doing it. And again, if you want sheer dominance in your niche and in your local area, invest in improving your SEO. Wherever it is that you were doing, try to invest in improving. Because in the long run, what you want to do at the end of this year is you want to be on top of your game. So on top of doing the brand awareness, this is also going to help you because it's a long game thing. Okay. So number 5 is you want to generate goodwill through a community to support initiatives. I'm going to give you an example. There's a restaurant that I love to go to here. It's in New Jersey. And, I found out that the owner's husband died of COVID-19, unfortunately. And, she was a little bit down in the dumps and everything. And, the business was bad. So we gave him some pretty innovative ideas of how to, she definitely didn't want to close the business. So go back to that. So she didn't want to close the business. She wanted to keep going. But she was down on her luck, so she was down on ideas. So we gave them ideas of how to do it. So we all supported them. We all networked with her anyway. So we all supported them. We started showing up on Wednesdays. We had some special Wednesdays and throwback Thursdays. We had some pretty decent turnouts on these days, and her business picked up again. So that's what I'm talking about, giving back. So so basically customers want businesses that they support, the socially conscious values. That's true throughout things. So I made it known on my page that I was doing this, and other businesses that were doing it for this business made it known on their page. So when a customer of yours sees this, they say, oh, this company really, really, really cares. Okay. So those are the 5 things that you could do to increase your business post-COVID. I know as everything comes back. So I'm going to go over them. I'm going to go over them one more time before I close. So number 1 is you want to increase brand awareness for your business. So by that, I mean, run some ads, get known back out there. And there's nothing better than do it than that. And we have this package, we call it the omni-channel package, which is pretty cool, that does that for you with gangbusters. It's tremendous. Number 2, you want let sales data guide your decisions for any new services. How has this impacted you? How has your customer acquisition been impacted? Which services you need to get rid of, which services you need to add, etc. But let the sales guide that decision. Enhance your e-commerce game, guys. Get people easy ways to pay you. Easy ways to pay you electronically. You got to do it. You can't keep living in the in the old ages with just checks. Okay. Number 4 is you want to invest in improving SEO. Definitely important. And number 5, you want to generate goodwill through the community to support initiatives. So any initiatives that you see out there in your community, be out there, be known, and publicize it on Facebook. It's not, or on any social media platform. It's not bragging, folks. I know a lot of people have a hard time with that. Because, oh, Frank, I don't want to, share my stuff, and it sounds like I'm bragging. It's not bragging. You're sharing that you care. Okay? That's what you're doing. You're sharing that you care. Before I leave you, though, I have one very important message to share with you. And that is, as the last point of this whole thing, is complacency has no place in the post-COVID world. I'm going to say that again. Complacency has no place in the post-COVID world. Here's what I mean by that. What worked before a business is not necessarily what worked before for a business is not necessarily going to work as the world recovers from the economic shock caused by COVID. Okay. So there's no room for complacency, guys. You got to get your A game out there. You got to kick butt. Businesses need to take stock of what has happened and how they need to adapt in order to effectively compete, in the future. Very, very, very important. Otherwise, guys, you're gonna risk being left behind, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this episode. The start of the second quarter is a critical quarter. We're gonna kick butt this year. Remember that, but you don't want to get complacent. Okay, you got to roll with the punches. Roll up your sleeves. Remember why you started this business in the first place. You're going to rise above the top and shine. So with that, folks, I am going to bid farewell to this episode. And I wish you guys nothing but the very best. I can't wait to chat with you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, folks, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.